hello! It is Monday. It is. That's right. I'm just trying to push my sofa mat together a little bit, because the cushions have all gone wonky. It is time to make some strips. For we are done with squares for now. I'm sure squares will come back to haunt us, because that's what squares do. But for at least for now, and I haven't pinned this straight, we are going to be making squares. And we are back to the roller pillow, we will be, and I did some pricking so that the, hello Bianca, now, time to share my, so, although I did indeed, spend some time today, pricking my thing. I had some meetings. Meetings are really good for poking holes in little dots, right? At the same time, that was as far as I got. So, we are here to do some strips. For we have more candidates that we are to be testing for the, and I'm making a pig's ear of this because it's not attached to anything, and being such tiny thin thread, it's got no weight to it, and so when you try and pull on it and lift it, it kind of, well, does its own weirdness, and you kind of have to almost trap the other end, which I wasn't doing. Now I need to tie knots in it. So how are you? I promise you I'm not as fed up as I sound. She says, realising that the sigh she just uttered sounded terribly. It's not, it's just, you know, tying knots and tiny bits of string is a complicated matter. Now, at some point in the future, we will need to check out Buck's Point, and the reason for that is, well, namely this minuscule piece of shite that you know, really doesn't look a lot, does it? Now, my camera thing is still not doing its thing, even though I did leave it on last night, in the hopes that it would sort its knickers out. It clearly didn't. So let me zoom in, and I now can't see the picture, and so we need to go, no, wrong way, that way, and in some more, and then we need to go that way. So, you may realise that it doesn't take, oh, still wrong direction. The reason I keep doing wrong direction on left and right is because it's an up and down arrow. Which way's left? So, this doesn't look very exciting. And for the most part, you'd be right. Although, obviously, it does kind of match the left-hand side of the pattern. Well, technically, actually, it matches more of the right-hand side. But we will ignore the fact that I made it. Actually, I must have made it this way around. Anyway, don't remember making it that round. I'm sure the picos are on the other side. Well, if I started that at the top, but I started on the left, I could have sworn I did this on the right. I did. That's why. I made it this way around, because this was not on the edge of my pattern. That's why this is confusing. So this looks remarkably like the edge of one of my strips. And if I grab a strip and put it next to you, you'll notice that it indeed does look remarkably like one of the edges of the strip. So there's the little bulby bits on the edge, there's the snake. So if I do that, for example, this matches up with that. And it's got bulby bits, right? Well, I had one thing I wanted to rule out before committing. Excuse me, thinking of sneezing. Yes, you! Sorry, wrong button. That did not help. That was supposed to be my mic button, but it wasn't my mic button. I missed and hit stick. One thing we do need to turn off. Hang on. Need to turn off. Well, there we go. Right. Yeah. I tried to hit mute and failed terribly. So this is made out of linen, rather than this, which is stupidly thin cotton. Actually, it's supposed to be cotton, but this is made out of linen, in fact, out of this linen. And as you can see, if I put a hair of the other thread and a hair of this thread next to each other, that this is distinctly thicker. But this is made of linen. Now, ideally, I'd love to have made this out of linen, my neckcone out of linen, because linen is very long wearing, hard wearing, traditional kind of thing to make housewear out of, for you can use and abuse it pretty violently and it will be quite happy to take it. However, if I pick up the very corner of this, you'll notice it's stiff as a board. Now, this was done in a buck's point style. So this is not the usual cross twist, pin, cross twist. Hence, there are no little holes where the threads meet. And they are slightly uneven because, well, that's the nature of buck's point. I also bothered, for my sins, stop misfocusing. Focus on the thing, you daft camera. Hello. Stupid camera. This is something I can click. No. There you go. Right. So, I put some on the left. Well, I won't point at it in case my hand offends it some more. We did some picots, and I still hate picots. I just want to point that out. But the edging for it was quite successful, in that it formed picots. Because obviously I'm thinking down one side, you don't really want the open kind of bumpy bits. You do want a more solid edge. What is wrong with this dog? What is wrong with you? Were you made funny? Are you a defect? Are you a defect, little one? Are you? Well, you're my defect. You have to live with it. Did you just burp? Did you just burp? Over my lace pillow? I think you did. So, it is a potential edging that will make the edge an edge, if that makes some sense. But also, this has the... Oh, I have just put my finger back in it again. Has the one thread loops, whereas the torchon ones is a two thread loop. Now, the two thread loop has some advantages, do not get me wrong. But actually, sorry, my brain was thinking of something. Hang on, I need to look something up now. I found a thing on now this was not the thing, but as long as it covers it, I suppose it really matters. Okay. Yeah, okay, sorry. I was just thinking, the way I joined the torchon ones wouldn't work with a single loop because, well, there wasn't a thing to go between. But now there is. Amy, stop licking, you miserable dog. So anyway, with this in mind, I need to put my camera back. Hang on. Dunk. Hopefully that is back where I started. Yep. So this was an interesting experiment, but I need to stop doing experiments the size of a postage stamp. Do need to do a reasonable one. Try and join it together and decide whether I like it. Because, well, it kind of matters. But for the auditioning, we're going to go with the standard torchon style of the day. Because, well, screw it, frankly. So I shall do some of this, and I have my. It's come off. Where's my super glue? There it is. Oh, there should be two of these somewhere. There's another. There it is. More used one. That would be a better idea. This one was one of the originals. Wow. It's the first time one of the originals has come apart. Anyway, bear with me. I need to pump some glue in this. Which is a lot easier said than done. You'd think pumping glue into something was actually quite easy. Well, it isn't hard, it's just not very, very quick. Because it's quite a big area. And I can't be bothered to get a hot glue gun out to try and fill it. So I am gonna try and should be absolutely plenty. Yay! So, I'm just gluing on them. Ah, how's it going? Well, it's your first day. You don't expect them to be great. Hell, if you can remember where the toilets are 10 minutes later, that's still a bargain, you know. One thing I've always found with any new job is that you start a new job and everything seems new and exciting and big and shiny and all the rest of it. 6 months in, now you start noticing that they haven't painted for 6 months and that actually the building is not half as big as you thought it was. And I remember one company I started at, I swear it was the size of the Starship Enterprise, right? It seemed to have like 28 floors and you know, rooms off everywhere and but by the time I'd been there 6 months and realised it was 3 floors, not 28. And I do mean it genuinely. It always seemed to be that whatever floor I was on was the wrong floor. And so it seemed to have more floors because no matter how much I'd written down that this is on this floor or whatever, somehow I still seemed to always be in the wrong place. And so I spent, 6 months, well, the first few months wandering around like a lost idiot, constantly having to ask people, where's this, where do I find so-and-so, looking like an idiot. Because the floors alternated gender toilets. So, like, ground floor and upper floor were women, middle floor was men, right? Now, I was on the top floor, so mostly this was okay. Because obviously I had a toilet that I could use, and it was generally there, but of course, except for when they were cleaning it. But then, of course, you had to go to the ground floor. Well, I generally do have a reasonable amount of well, I'm generally not too bad at that, but at the same time, you know, clearly it's you know, to some extent, apparently not, you know. As I say, you know, this place had toilets for women on floors 1 and 3, and not and not on ground and 2, so the 4 floors in total. And so there were even a number of toilets, but whatever floor I was on was not it. And when you need a wee, it's not a good thing. So I need to sort this out somehow. So I need that to go over that and over that. No, that's not going to be right. I need to think about this. I need to come up with a decision. Actually, who the hell fucking cares? Kimber, who cares? No one actually gives a stuff. So let's do that. Right. Then we need another pin. Poke you down. Hello. Just procrastinating and you know, because I can. More to the point. So yes. It's good to see people. It is always good to see people. I'm just playing during the bobbins, so hang on. Plonk. I need it to be slightly longer. Most of these bobbins have not exactly got a lot on them, so let's truly be honest. I mean, this is not worth bothering with. I mean, hardly the string of ages, right? So I need to add some string to this one. They're all going to run out at some point, I think, during this test, but you know. So that wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, you know, got to give it a go. No point throwing it away for the sheer fun of it, except for when it really is that mind-numbingly short, you know. Because that's barely long enough to tie a knot with, so. Yeah. And it's not like I'm short. I've got plenty of strings. I mean, none of them are particularly well endowed with string, but not the point. So yes, my plan of today is to do the final things I thought would make good, or potentially good, to be more accurate, little motifs for curtain. And then we will get to pick some. There will be mass internet votings. I will plaster it everywhere I can and ask for people's votes on which ones they like. I may ignore every single one. If you love something I particularly dislike, then well, we won't be doing that. But you know, opinions are good. Because, of course, one of the big key things with, like everything in life, is that it may look good as a one-off. It may look good even as a single strip of it. But when there are 7 1-metre strips of it, it might be a bit much. So, you know, it's like colours. You can have things that are glorious colours, but you wouldn't paint every room in your house in it. Well, not unless you wanted migraines, you know, or psychedelic issues, you know. It's not that it's a bad choice. It's a nice colour. You might even paint your car in it. but you wouldn't paint every room in your house with it. And or if you lived in somewhere like, you know, if you had like a huge conference room, you probably wouldn't paint a huge room in it. You could do a feature wall in it. You could, you know, buy things of that colour to accent your room of choice. But you wouldn't necessarily want to live in a room that was, quote, that colour. And my table seems to be having tilting issues. Because, well, it can. That doesn't feel right. There it is. Okay, it's 2 pins. So, yes. Hello. Someone else has lost their hat. Now, this is one of the newer ones, which is less surprising. So somewhere in here, there'll be a ball bearing at the bottom. Now, can I find it? That feels like a ball bearing at the bottom. Or was it attached to something? Might have been attached to something. Problem is, it's a very... how do I explain this? The bag is not much bigger than the bobbins. It's quite a... So, there isn't... that's the end of a bobbin. You're going to tell me that the thingy I put away... I want now, aren't you? No, you're on the end of a ball bearing. I'm trying to find a ball bearing that isn't attached to a bobbin, and that's harder than it sounds, you know. No, it's got a bobbin on the end of it. Oh, what it does mean is that the tin I have over here with magic things in it... Oh, stop tilting! Pain in the arse thing. This one I put it in? Or was it the other one? One of the 2 tins. It will be this one, with the floating noise. Happens to have the ball bearing that ran away. That I found. Go me, I found it, right? So, let's glue you on the top of here. Glasses off to see the gluing. Not a lot of go left in this glue, but don't know why I'm being such a stinge. I've got enough of this glue to shake as much sticker. It just might not be in this particular tube. Got another tube and a big tube, so this is the amount I've got left in this one. But I do have, as I say, another small tube and a bigger tube. Now I'm being careful where I'm putting my bobbins because I've got a new mouse mat, because when I started making these I, how do I delicately put it, stabbed a hole in my mouse mat by mistake, and well, it got progressively gnarlier because of course wiping your hands over it and everything. So with that in mind, I bought a new mouse mat, so it's all lovely and shiny and new. And the moment you go and take a photograph of it, it looks like you wiped your butt or feet on it or something, because it's full of scuff marks and random bits of dirt, and you're like, how how did you get that bad? You're brand new, but it is my new shiny mouse mat, and I am not gonna manage to glue a bobbin to it. That's the plan. What you can't see is well, you can see just down here in the corner. This black is another mouse pad which I bought to replace the mouse pad. Turns out I bought the wrong size. I bought 10 centimeters too big, and rather than bother to return it, I thought it would make quite a good grippy top for this table. So that's what it is now, rather than one of my tea towels, which, while beautiful, was just a cotton tea towel. Didn't really provide anything other than cover. So, and I need to point out how cheap these mouse pads are. Actually, they are. You know, I can't even buy a McDonald's burger for this sort of money. So, well, not a decent McDonald's size, but if I bought a McSpicy, it's about the same price. So, that's how bad this is. So, let's truly be honest. They're not exactly, you know, top-notch stuff. I don't feel overly upset. It's not like I spent, you know, 20-30 quid on a mouse pad and it's the wrong size. It's the price of a burger. So, rather than bother them going through all the hassle of trying to return it, I thought I'd make use of it instead. So that just seemed like a good idea. Oops, missed. Sake. It doesn't help that for some reason, even though the weight's on this corner, obviously because there's a table to the side of the right me, the slightest pressure on this corner and it tilts, and it's as tight as the hinge thing will go. Now the hinge thing is really weird because it's designed to have a round circle pillar on it at an angle, so it's got an adjustable thing, and that, of course, bear in mind, I like it to be flat, is the last thing I need. So from that point of view, it's a stupid table. But it's also the height. The height is the right height for me. Whereas most pedestal tables are not. And as a result of being a pedestal table, it is kind of useful. So I need to make these all a chunk longer. Stop being so uptight and grumpy. Make you all longer like this. So a bit more down here. There you go. So you go there. And obviously at some point before going to strip general, we will need to revarnish these bobbins, because what is not so obvious like this, but the thread is not quite so white anymore. It's not, you know, as black as the bobbins, but it is not white anymore, and obviously, well, we kind of want it to be white for the curtain. So we will need to do something about that. But yes, I was having, I won't say fun with the picos yesterday, because but they actually came out looking like picos. I mean, I still hate them. They still look like wonky pinholes to me. They look like failed pinholes. But they did at least all come out. I think they did. Yeah, quickly check. Yeah, they all came out. One's a little bit squish, but oops, dropped it. They did at least come out looking like picos. So kudos to myself for that one. Most successful run of picos yet. Before you ask, yes, I know there was no. Oh, you can't quite see. It's off the top. You'll have to believe me that I'm currently working in non-marked pinhole because we are making a layer of torchon across the top. Because it's difficult to start with a snake head when there's only half a snake head, so you kind of need pre-pins, which is why tests. Oh, of course, there's ads running. I know what I'm missing. I'm missing the music. Stop curling. You finish tying this knot, and then I'll put the music on. This one, that seems sensible. Should have gone quiet, no music, and now we go here and where we go. Click. That sounds a bit loud. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. Not a lot, but... Stop moving, table. I can't tighten you anymore. didn't want. Oh, got backache today, people. See, if you look at that, there's no, you can see that that looks really dark and, well, it's unwound, so let's tighten that up a bit. For starters. That's not much either, but there we go. Through the hole, you miserable... No! The hole is the size of friggin' England. Go through it. Thank you. Problem with tying knots with things with no weight to them is they're very resistant to going where you'd like. But the not naughty coat showed me has helped an awful lot, but occasionally the threads just do not want to play. Because you make a loop with one and you make kind of like a backwards E with the other, or a backwards P, right? So it's like it's like a Q but without the thing at the bottom. So you make a Q but you go around that way, right? And problem is when it's curly or it's got a bit of twisty life to it, it is not. It has a horrible habit of just not playing up to it. And don't ask me to show you because I can't do it 3 inches from my nose and show you. So, but in essence, you end up with a loop with this being the tail that's gone around, and you poke this through the hole, and then the tail through the loop that you just poked through. But if it's not in the mood, it's not in the mood. So. Sometimes it's in the mood and goes really easy, like that one, and other times it fights you the whole way. Hello! Hello! How it goes. Got backache today. I feel like I tried to do too much or something and now I've got the sore back, but I haven't. I just possibly maybe from doing too much on the square at the weekend, but we finished the square, so we feel good about it. So like everything, it has a price, which means I've got. Tuck this up a bit more. Pull these down a bit. There you go. A bit tighter. Bit of a drink first, hang on. No, I'm not. I'm British. I am absolutely British. Distinctly not the same thing. Yeah, the Irish would have something to say about that. No, I am not Irish. I did marry into an Irish family and then we divorced, but no, I am not Irish. Irish lace is actually crochet, out of interest. Which I find surprising, but and interestingly enough, when I was getting married or looking to get married, I did see a wedding dress. Now I'm not a dress girl. I hate dresses, frankly, but I did see a wedding dress that was very beautiful. Did not come in my size. It was a one-off, right? And it would have broken the bank, something horrid, even if it did fit, so it was not really an option. But it had, for want of a better description, Yeah, no, it's just not a dress thing. But what I will say is this dress was like a strapless dress, but with a lace T-shirt built into it. So the whole kind of bit that would have been body, in effect, was covered in Irish lace, and it was very beautiful. Hey, Sugar Bear. It's okay. You don't have to say hi. You know me well enough. Um, I mean, to give you an idea, I was running the team meeting this morning, and my bud, who tends to text me while I'm doing this, wasn't there, and it's like, where is he? And everyone's kind of, I don't know. And so I sent him a text. Oi, arsehole, meeting. So, you know me well enough. Yeah. Apparently he'd gone for a walk and completely forgotten that the meeting was on then. Pretty much. I will say it was one of the best team meetings we've had in a while. Not wishing to toot my own horn too much, because that's not really something I do. But our team meetings are always really chaotic, and a couple of people basically turn it into their song and dance parade. And well, that didn't happen today, so kudos for that. But secondly, it was hang on. No, that was right. I need a new pin. That's what's wrong with it. Done you. That's what it is. But one of them wasn't in. I got to control the other one. And it was kind of like, so did we have any P1s at the weekend? No. Great. Excellent. That's what we want to hear. Nothing broke. So these people are out. These people are out later this week. Got any bitches that you need to share with the team? And you could almost hear did you just say bitches? And it's like, and I said, because obviously, if you've got any problems, we need to know about it now. And, who's going to volunteer to do these tickets? Oh, well, I will. Great, excellent. Who's going to go to camp tomorrow? I will. Excellent. Oh, that's two things I don't have to do. And, right, so who's got some bitches? Oh, I got this ticket and I don't know if we can do it. Well, what is it? And I said, well, so has it been to that team? No. Well, then send it to them. We're not their parents. It was a much more down-to-earth, upbeat meeting. But at the same time, one of them technically got told off, but I don't think he knows. Because we, in our company, or the company we're working for more accurately, but in our company, if you want access to something, it's up to you to go and get it. People do not do it on your behalf. And they were going, oh, I'm got access to this. And it's like, well, have you asked for it? Oh, no. Well, then go and get it. So, yeah. And for some reason, well, you're all adults, we did have to listen to one of our co-workers. He's got a young child, and to be fair, we all know that young children, no matter how much you try and get them to do the right thing, sometimes they just don't. Well, last week he broke the TV. He smacked it with a hammer. So we listened all patiently, trying to be understanding that, you let your kid have a hammer and he whacked the TV. And obviously, having never met said kid, or technically the bloke whose kid it is, but I do somewhat have visions of that one on the internet where you see the kid has whack, his dad's kind of doing something with the telly, and he whacks it, and the kid kind of, well, whacks it with a hammer, and he kind of gently taps it, and his parents are like, oh my God, you mustn't possibly do that. So the kid goes, whack, and smacks and leaves a huge dent in the front of it. Well, so we're all picturing that kind of moment, right? And kind of going, well, you should stop him from being near the TV then, you know, if you thought this was a possibility. And so they got a new TV at the weekend. 20 minutes, kid broke it. And we're kind of like, have you considered, like, chaining it up? You haven't met the people I have. Yeah. So having hit it with a hammer last week, apparently this was a wooden set square. Why does a 1.5-year-old need a wooden set square? And they both left the room with this kid holding a wooden square. Seriously, I mean, have you not learned? Apparently it's also a learning curve for them. I've always kind of felt that maybe license to breed is not necessarily a wrong situation. I know it's a very unpopular opinion in many cases, but I think we're seeing proof that there could be some justifications here. Don't get me wrong, I do feel sorry for the bloke, but... Well, as long as they don't have more, right? I'm sure you've seen it. There's an advert, if you... Well, I could go and link it if you want. There's an advert on YouTube. A video of the advert on YouTube. With... Basically, it's French. And there's this little kid in a food store kicking off because he wants a sweetie. I want the bonbon! I want the bonbon! And his dad's looking at him and kind of like... And basically it's an advert for you can save all of this if you use a condom, right? And I posted that because I'm cruel. But it's very true. You made your choices. But then, of course, there's a reason I didn't have children, right? And I'm proud to report it's now too late. So, you know, my slave labour force, which is what they would have been, did not come into fruition, for which the world is eternally grateful, potentially. I mean, the one thing I keep trying to remind people is that... Now, a lot of people, I won't say dislike me, but a lot of people struggle to get on well with me because of my level of autism, my strange sense of humour, and the fact that... Exactly, I know, it's terrible. But some people just don't know quite how to take me, because I can be very upfront and blunt, because, well, you know, I keep getting told, don't be so wordy. You know, so if I'm not wordy, and then I'm accused of being blunt and, you know, all the rest of it. So I can't win. And so a lot of people do have a level of not quite sure how to handle Liz. And to be honest, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I really don't. But I need to point out to the world, most of them are great. Exactly. At least you know exactly where you stand. You know it's not meant with malice. It just may not be words you wanted to hear right then and there. Right? I would take up front and blunt every frigging time. I don't want to walk away from a conversation where you asked what you thought was a simple question. 3 hours later, you heard a lot of words, but you can't remember what the answer was because you're not actually sure you got one. Because, well, they spoke to you, but they never said yes or no. Well, you've got to consider. But what did you actually decide, dude? It's a bit like, do you want pizza or burgers for tea? Yes. Yes, what? Do you want burger or pizza? If you don't care, say you don't care. Otherwise, pick one, right? And then don't moan if you get one and you didn't like it. You know, it's... So I am very much a... Well, it sounds like we all need to start a company, frankly, but I do know that people can have a problem, and that's fine. I understand that, as long as they understand that it is, in part, also their own problem, because, you know, and I mean this with kindness, if people are allowed to be cats, I'm allowed to be me, right? And so if you have a problem, that's fine, and I will try and make accommodations for you as long as you do the same. If you don't do the same, well, screw you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But hang on. So I know I can be a little bit not everybody's cup of tea, and you know, to be honest, I don't have a problem. I really don't. Because you know, if you go into if you pick a stadium of people, and you were introduced, it would take a long time, but to all of them, there's a really good chance you won't like some of them. And for some of them, there can be a reason. Some of them, it's just you don't like them. And you can't always put your finger on it. So I don't expect people to like me. What I do expect them to do is be reasonable. But I do struggle with some of the levels of... hang on. Some of the levels that people are prepared to go for some, but not for others. And I'm not very good at that. That's kind of an autistic-y thing, in that if you're prepared to bend the rule for X, you should prepare it to everyone. Thank you for the follow. So yes, but I've been left to charge of the department, and so I've already cancelled Thursday's meeting unless something crops up that desperately needs attention, in which case shout in the group chat and we'll talk about it then and there. Otherwise, screw Thursdays, let's go on with some work. You know, we don't need to sit here having meetings when we could actually be doing some work. So that's kind of the... Oh, thank you, Sigaba. Big love. Now, I'm really worried about singing along to things that we can hear, because I know that there is a slight delay to my earpiece because it's on Bluetooth. Which means that even if I sing in time with it to what's in my ear, what you hear is not necessarily in time with it. But there are some things that I really like to sing along with, and this is one of them for some reason. Sugar Bear has known me for a long time. Worry not. It has been a long while. Aw. Do come back again, of course. Hello! Stop tilting, table. I must admit, when I first heard this song when it came out, because this was one of the last ones, as it fades away, I had no idea where any of those places were, and to an extent still don't entirely. Because to be fair, let's face it, most of us, geography of other countries is not the first thing you need to learn. So, you know, it was kind of one of those, I've always liked the Beach Boys. It was something to do with my dad. I've always liked the Beach Boys, but for some reason it just really kind of captured my imagination, that one. Actually, one thing that's really bad, if you get a really good pair of you need a fairly good set of headphones to really do it, and you need to have perfect pitch, to be honest. But if you listen to some of the Beach Boys ones, one of them was out of tune. It's really disturbing. I'm trying to think which one it was. It might be even Surfing USA. One of them's out of tune, and it sounds like a trodden on cat. Not that I wish to, you know, chastise them for. I wouldn't, you know, they made a lot of money doing it, so good luck to them. But one of them, it was that sounds rough when you got it in your ear. Doesn't sound so bad when you just listen to it. If it's on a radio or something, you don't tend to notice. But when it's in your ear and you can, you know, you can't really hear anything else, you tend to notice it a bit more. So there you go. Or is it Barbara Ann? Might be Barbara Ann. Don't grumble, dog. I know it's warm in here. Alexa, what's the downstairs tips? Try again. Alexa, what's the temperature on the downstairs thermostat?
The downstairs thermostat temperature is 24 degrees.
Oh, it's only 24 in here. Oh, a mere 24. Hello? Hello? I seem to have a growth of a little brown dog under my armpit. Hello, little one. Hey, Fleece and V. Did you come say hello to Fleece and V? Is that what it is? Is it? Are you going to do lacy things with your paws? Hmm? Hmm? Miss? Well, they probably should. There was a snoot and a paw. Yes, hello. Oh, big yawn. Such a stressful life, being a little brown dog. It is. Oh, it is. Oh, it's terrible. How do you live? I'm such a cruel, horrid owner. I am. Well, apparently. Hey, what's the matter with you? I fed you. I did. I made special effort to feed you before stream so that you had full belly and you might have a nap. Yes. And I made sure your water bar was full. Yes. So don't be telling me you drank it all. Don't believe you. No. Your water bowl holds quite a lot of water, so no, I know you haven't drunk it all. Apparently so. What? Now don't try and eat me. I am not dinner. No. Okay. Big snog for little dog. Hmm? You've been quite licky the last few days, which is slightly annoying because I don't mind being licked. I'm not one of those people that, you know, can't stand it. But I can only take so much and then it starts getting a little irritating. Again, the slightly autistic side of that. There is no flavour to come off. No. I'm to hold your paw while you lick your leg. Okay. Hello, what's the matter? What are you trying to tell me? Hmm? Nothing. You just want to... Oh. What? 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 Babs? I think you're sitting on your brother's head. Aren't you? No. Oh! You're going to tread on him. And then you wonder why he occasionally growls and wants to bite you. You can come up here if you want. Come on. Come here. Oh! What are you doing? What are you doing? Other than headbutting the table. Ah, you silly dog. Right, let's try time. Do you want up or not? Come on. Come on, little one. Come on. There's a big spot here for little one. Look, you pop in here. There. There's a big spot for a little dog there. There is. What is the matter? You're not normally this huggy. No. Hmm? Have you got a headache? Do you need squirting? Guessing not, as she's deciding to make a hastened retreat. Right. I'm determined to tie these bobbins in a knot. It's funny because sometimes she asks for things. Now, obviously, she can't come up and go, "Hey, Liz, I want," and tell me what she wants. So sometimes she wants something. Sometimes she's just being a cow, because that's distinctly a thing. And other times, she knows she wants something, but is absolutely devoid of what the something might be. And if she doesn't know, chance of me working it out is generally quite small. And I've just thought of a way to even out this table from being quite so unstable. There we go. Aha! Batties. Well, at least you're being paid for it. That's always a thing. Yes! I know exactly how you feel. Well, one of the things that I would say to that is that when you make something for a friend, it is kind of paid for. It's just not money. For friends will stand by you when you need them. Friends will be there when shit hits the fan. Friends will listen to you bitch and... Well, it is, but as I was saying, right, is that friends pay for things in different ways, I feel. As I say, in the sense of if you've got, if you've got a good friend, So, yeah, they don't pay you for it. But they'll have been there for things that no one else was. They will, you know, if you've locked yourself out the house at 1 o'clock in the morning and they're the ones that are likely to come answer with a spare key, you know, all of those kind of things. Friends pay for it in actions, not in terms of actual money. And not that it's a transactional thing, if you understand, but you know, they've earned it in other ways, if you know what I mean. I always feel. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't make a nut curtain for my friend. That's not for free, at least. That would be pushing it. I mean, I've got some friends that I would move heaven and earth for, but spending like a year making a net curtain, yeah, probably not. You know, that's kind of, I feel, slightly, you know, a reasonable limit. But I don't know, at the same time, if I get to the end of this one and it's nice, and they go, oh, that's really pretty, and I'm going, you know, I kind of got off the boil, hey, you can have it. I won't feel too bad about that. Well, it's a bit like if I was doing this for, I'm going to say my friends PT&T, right? Because I've known them since I was 16 years old. So that's a fucking long time, right? If they turned around and went, oh my god, that's beautiful, oh, that's really so nice, I'd probably give them it. And not even think twice. That's not a hint if you're watching. I don't think they watch, but, you know, just in case. Because I really would like it. But I have known them so much. They are such lovely people. You know, if anyone is deserving of kindness, it is them, right? And so, yeah, I would potentially happily hand it over to them. But there are also friends that I wouldn't. And it's not that I don't like them, but, you know, no offence, but since I was 16, you know, that's like 37 years of stuff. That gets you a lot of leeway in my life, you know? I mean, when Pete found out that my dad was in hospital and, you know, and it was his final day and it was very clearly going to be his final day, Pete phoned me up to see if I was alright. And I went, oh, he's lying here fairly peaceful. I don't think it's going to be too long now. Yeah, about 5 minutes later, text him back. He's gone. And he was almost more upset than I was. Now, it's not entirely true, but it, you know, in comparison, he was probably more visibly upset than I was, until dude asked me at the lift if I was alright. I cracked a bit then. I was doing alright till he said that. Yeah, as I was leaving, standing at the lift, trying to think who I had to tell and what I was going to do when I got back to the house, and, you know, all of those kind of, and how I was going to tell my Auntie Pat, who was dog sitting at the time, because, you know, and this bloke said, oh, will you be back tomorrow? And I went, no, point, he's dead. And the look on his face, he went, you're on your own? And I went, yeah. Well, you're not going to drive, are you? No, I ain't going to fly, am I? It's like, you know, and he was like, oh, but, you know, you can't do that on your own. I haven't got any choice, dude. There's only me. You know, that was it. I'm an only child. It's, you know, it's not like I can share it about here. It's like, oh, but, you know, do you need me to do anything? And it's like, no, I'm all right. The moment he left, I was like, okay, I need to control this one. Breathe. It was a bit much. Someone being nice is often the problem. Whenever you're upset, you're often holding it together until someone's nice. And then the moment someone's nice, no, loosen it now. Now's not the time. So yeah. You were such a nice bloke. I mean, I have no idea who he was there for. I have no idea who he was. But, you know, I'm the same. I saw a woman having a hard time as I left the hospital the same day. And she was sitting out there having a hard time. So, you're right. And so I sat and had a half-hour conversation with her. And she was explaining that basically she had cancer, she wasn't going to make it, she was having chemo, and she was kind of fed up and done with it all. And so we had a chat, you know. Some woman trying to get into a hospital to see her daughter while she was about to give birth, and the thing wasn't taking her money, so I paid for a parking ticket, you know. It's... whatever. There are bigger things to be worrying about, you know? The only thing that profoundly hit me when my dad died was how much my world felt like it changed. But as I walked out of the building into the car park areas outside, was watching all these people going about their day who clearly hadn't felt it. My whole world had just imploded and they didn't even feel it. And it really was that. It was really quite striking because it was a beautifully hot, sunny day. It was a lovely day. And for whatever reason, the end of care ward is right next to the fucking maternity ward. So there's all these people, you know, waddling around, all being excited because they're about to be mums or they've just given birth or whatever. And, you know, they're having their first waddle outside. And, you know, or people are visiting their, you know, friends, newborn, whatever. And, you know, so they're all excited. Next to the ward with people losing them. Probably not the best. And I know that they always kind of go, oh, you shouldn't just, you know, shouldn't work to keep your mind off it. Well, sometimes that's the best way to process, is to give your brain something gentle to chew upon that is not the subject at hand. Because you're not dismissing its thoughts on it, but you're just giving it something else to do while it chews on it. It's a bit like knitting through a film. It's not that you're not watching the film, but you're giving your brain cells just something else to think about. And so I totally will back you up on the having something like stitching to do while you maintain a little bit of calm and decorum and give your emotions a little bit of a rest, and perfectly valid. Now, obviously there are times to and not to do things, but we all have different ways of doing it. And so someone saying, oh no, you shouldn't possibly, bite me, is the short answer to that. Now, I need to look at this because for some reason this looks wrong. And I know it's not. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Right. So, let's start our first snake. I need a stick. Stickity stick. Give me a stick. There we go. Let's put you on a stick for a minute. Jesus, it's hot in here. It's 8:20 at night, and I swear it is hotter now than it has been all flipping day. It is really ridiculous. You really are a last-ditch effort, aren't you? Yeah, it's not. I mean, if I pull up the weather app, it's really not that. It'll say it's not that bad. One moment, loading. It says 21 degrees, but it is the 53% humidity that has been here kind of all day, and so although it is cooler, it is not cooler, if you know what I mean, as those with humidity will understand, you know. You just end up feeling wet at the edges, you know, for want of a better expression. That sounds really awful, but you know what I mean. Actually, it looks like it's even rained outside. Oh, no wonder it feels so freaking sticky and horrible. Let me go turn my fan on. Alexa, fan on. Ding dong is definitely not. Now I have to go and turn it on. Hey, pups. Because when in doubt, there's water bottles and fans to be had. So. It's a bit better. Right. Oh, it feels so good. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, screw that. Dude, screw that. Oh, you have every sympathy. Oh, screw that. Well, hopefully it's going to be cooler for us tomorrow. We do have new music. But what you'll notice is if you go and listen to this later on YouTube, it'll be the same old music. Ah. I can't believe it took you that long to notice. I know it's not on very loud, but, well, it's on loud enough. I put a lot of effort into working out how to do this. Or more accurately, making it work. I knew the theory, but had a lot of problem with the practical side of it. So yes, you're listening to Amazon Music's All 80s, for those who are wondering what they're missing. Because they're listening on YouTube and have no idea what we're talking about. you doing, Amy? If there's a bug in the corner, let him be. Yes, you. You're being a little madam today. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Do you need to be hosed? Do I need to squirt you? What have you got on your tummy? What have you got on your tum? Let me have a look. There you go. Squirted the dog, so she'll be cooler. This thing does an exceptionally fine mist. So even if you squirt a lot, it sounds like a lot of squirt, but it's mainly air. So it sends this little poof of spray into the world, which means that you can squirt yourself in the face without feeling like you threw a hose pipe on yourself, which is quite nice. But it's also very cooling because it's such fine droplets. Sadly, her brother does not like it. He takes great unction with such events, as he does with a number of events, to be fair. So she's brought him back in to tell him to get it, but he won't have it. Oh, look, ads coming in 3 minutes. So yes, at the beginning of the show, I kind of said what I was planning to do. So we're going to do this last layer of strip. She says, realising her table's not straight. There you go. So we're going to do this last bit of strip. Sew all the strips we've got together. Then we're going to do 2 strips because this strip actually was made like this. So although this looks like an edge, it was actually in the middle. But this was made out of linen, which is a bit thicker and it's too stiff, so we're not doing that. But this was done in a buck's point style. So if you think of the torchon thing, where you see 4 threads come in, do a kind of a knot with a hole in the middle, so it kind of makes a this shape, but with a bit more undery, overy and overy undery, because I can't do it with my fingers. This does not. This is like little bubbles. And like little bubbles, they're not all entirely equal in shape. And it has quite a distinctive feel to it. But it would give us a single thread down the outside edges. which would then mean, even though the join that I came up with is pretty invisible, well, then it would make the twist 2 and B properly invisible. So I've also ordered a book, because as I've said to you, Chantilly lace and Bucks Point are the same ship. It is just, you know, two different dudes invented it in different places, and that's pretty much the only difference. There is no actual functional difference, but, well, that I am aware of. Oh, look, a spam bot. Let me go and deal with the spam bot. Hang on. Click on spam bot. Report spam bot. Spam. Spam. Hey, it's in my ear as well, so, you know, I need to point that out here. And in fact, on that note, no offence, Rick, bugger off. Oh, and spam bots is dead. They really are quite good with turnaround on the spam bots. Actually, when we finish this, we'll play something else. I'm going to go for something new now. You should be set by now. You are, but the whole top fell off. Excellent. I'm going to leave you to set longer then. You should be done though. Yeah, you're done. The reason the first one took longer is because I filled the entire cavity with super glue, so it hasn't set yet. It does say it can take hours, so I'm not mad at it. Oh, that one didn't work. Stop being annoying. What? Before you wonder what I'm puzzled by, much as I really do love this song, let me show you my desktop a second. Hang on. I have got such a button. So, look what it says is playing. It says Hotel California, which we will all agree on, by the Eagles and Billy Joel. I don't remember him having nothing to do with this. Much as I truly love the Eagles and Hotel California, and we are going to listen to it. I'm sorry, this is literally nothing to do with Billy Joel. Amazon, get your grip. Strangeness. By the way, one of the parts of the lyric says, she's twisted, she's got the Mercedes Benz. Well, my dad always drove a Merc, and it always made me wonder. Because obviously I heard this when I was quite young for the first time, so, you know, young me went, hang on, Dad's got a Merc. He had a very second-hand Merc, I need to point out, but... it's not like it was new, but, you know. He was really hell-bent on those Mercs. I hated them as a result. You alright? It's the wrong way around, idiot. Let's try doing it towards the top. Thank you. Not that it overly matters, but principle. I'm not convinced Rory doesn't have dog version of COVID. He's had kind of a throat thing going on for a few days now. But he is playing, so he's clearly feeling reasonable at the moment. so I'm not going to turn them off. Or... Actually, that'll make Steve laugh. Trim the ends off me nut. Let's try this. I'm not sure this is the one I want, but I think it is. Because they've all got stupid names. So. If you know who this is, you'll understand why this is the one I thought it was. Missed. So we've loaded half of the bobbins already. If you consider how long it usually is to take us to get half the bobbins loaded on with the squares, it's just in part because you put onto work one, put onto work one. Oh, woof to you! Open the door for him, Amy. Go on. And then she'll tell him off. Let's not listen to any more of those. So, right, what do I really fancy listening to? I don't know. Why is that on there more than once? You're not going to play it. Oh. What is the point of showing me if you're not going to play it? Excuse you. Thank you. Time and a place, children. It is. Jingle, jingle, jingle. I think I'm probably scaring people away with some bad choices of music, but there we go. Bollocks to 'em. Fair enough, Lucenby. Take care. Don't know what this is, but I'm not in the mood for it. No, I'm not in the mood for that. Why do they make it so darn difficult just to have an enjoyable bunch of stuff? Because clearly Billy Idol was not... Billy Joel, rather, was not what we were after. Billy Idol would also work, of course. Let's try this. Come on. Let's try this again. This is supposed to be an album, so hopefully it actually is Billy Joel this time. That didn't work. Let's try again. My work best is spotted something else that was wrong with that Billy Joel playing Hotel California. You might have just spotted the bit that I was thinking of. There we go. Yeah. Dogs have definitely got the zoomies. Behave, dogs. Well, we've done pretty well, actually. Considering how full this bag was when we started, and there is one half glued on my table, but we are down Oh, there's the ball bearing. I found it now. Down to this me. Let me rescue the ball bearing from the bomb before I lose it. Not that it's desperately important not to lose it. It's not like I haven't got a few spare, you know. Because I do. But there's the ball bearing I couldn't find earlier. So let's put that back in the tin where the other one was. So next time I need one, or when it's run away or something. Now the question is, do I keep going for a bit, or do I give up for the day? This is a mighty fine question. What I should really do is move this forward a bit so you can see, like that. Or move the light back a bit, one or the other, but there you go. Thinky think. What I really need is a 90-degree pipe thing to go on the end of my tripod thing, so that the light can come more forward and look more down in the middle, not down from an end. Because really you need to be angled at kind of this angle so you see more of the front. Well, I think actually I'm going to call it done for the day. Because although my back has cheered up slightly, I don't want to push it too hard. So, this is where I'm going to call it quits. I'm going to pick up my camera phone and take a picture of where we're at. Took a big pile of bobbins. Big piles of bobbins are always quite good. And it looks like I've been wiping butter over my camera lens. Hang on. Give it a bit of a clean. There we go, that's a bit better. There we go, that looks a bit better. There we go. So yes, I shall be back tomorrow. Usual time. Somewhere between 5 and 7. It's Tuesday tomorrow. So I wish you all a good evening, or wherever is appropriate timeage for you. And as I say, I do hope that tomorrow, let's kill the music for a minute. So I do hope that you will come and see me again tomorrow, and we will move on, for we have a number of, we have 4, I think it is, yeah, 4 motifs that we're going to make on this strip. And then we're all going to vote. So the more of you there are, the better. Because, well, the more opinions, the better the outcome. And for that, I shall thank you very much for your accompaniment today. It does matter to me a lot that you guys come. Because, well, sitting here talking to yourself would make me a bit of a nutter now, wouldn't it? So it is nice that you come. I appreciate it. And I shall see you all, as I say, same time tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.